welcome back to our Christmas special of Oshkosh Today. Thanks again for joining us. We've taken a little trip out to the House of Flowers right here in Oshkosh at 1920 Algoma Boulevard, and we're here to talk about some lovely Christmas decor. So I'm here with Jim Kolb, owner of House of Flowers, and he's going to give us a little mini tour of the background of House of Flowers. So Jim, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out, and you're in the behind the scenes today.
Yes.
You're in the where all the magic happens.
Which is very exciting, and
Yeah.
I know you guys are getting some arrangements together behind us as well, and we've got a lot to look at today. So first off, we've got a really pretty tablescape here, and kind of holiday themed. Maybe you can tell us about some of the things that we have to look at today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this time of year, your tablescape could be sort of a transitional color story. So things that you know, really could go from an everyday use, maybe sort of fall, leaning to Thanksgiving, but then introducing a little bit of the holiday greens and colors to kind of take you through the rest of the season. The cool thing about the tablescapes that we're kind of showing today is the ability that you could rent some of the main vases
Yes.
and vessels and platters and things like that rather than having to purchase them.
And I think that's really cool because a lot of people stray away from trying anything new. They get kind of stuck in the same things every year because they just simply don't want to go out and purchase new things and
Yeah.
commit to those things.
Absolutely.
So there's always the option of renting, and you have that available here at House of Flowers.
We do. Through the Couture Events division, we have a whole room of rental items. So anything from the wood chargers to the different platters, the different vases and vessels, these could really morph into just about any look, which is really beautiful. And this way you could incorporate a couple pieces of your own, but your tablescape could really look different every year, you know, from here on out.
Yes, it really gives you a lot of freedom every year to mix things up.
We just love these battery operated, the like micro lights on the grapevine balls. They're battery operated, so you can just sort of set those onto an urn or down a table. Here we've used them up on a real tall pedestal riser, and we've just taken a fresh wreath and just kind of set it in the center of it. But look at the impact that has.
It really has a nice, classy addition to the look. Very nice.
Yeah, so if you're having a corporate party or a party at your home, you know, it's just a really great way to kind of take your event to the next level at a fairly low cost.
Definitely. And I love this tablecloth. Is this available for rent as well?
It is. This is our pewter petal linen. We use this a lot of times for weddings and events, for like head tables or a king's table. But it's really pretty. It also comes in kind of a matte gold, which is
Okay.
beautiful as well.
Yeah, a lot of people I think also forget that they can use tablecloths to mix things up and change the look of everything. So it's really neat that those are available as well.
Yeah, and using mixed metals, mixed finishes and mixed metals is really on trend right now. So you'll notice while the table linen is pewter, we've introduced a lot of natural elements and some gold and some rose gold and then some of the mercury glass as well. And it really all works
Oh,
well
yeah.
together.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing.
And the trend, a lot of, I think, is the wood as well. And I see you've got some birch branches and some other twig branches and things like that. Has that been a really popular thing?
It's super popular, and but look at yet introducing the crystal, you know, platters to wood and then mixed metals. It's just kind of an unexpected twist, but it takes rustic to a different level.
Oh yeah, I think there's kind of no rules at this point. You can just mix it up, do whatever you want, whatever you think looks good. And I mean, anything, all of this stuff is beautiful and looks great together.
Yeah.
And we've got some beautiful little candle votives, like you said, available for rent. And I think we have some other things that we wanted to look at. We might take a few steps back and see some of the outdoor things that we can play with for holidays as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, so Jim, we've moved a couple tables down in the back of the shop here, and we have a wide array of some branches here. So I'm going to let you take it away, and you're going to tell us a little bit about what each of them are and where they're from.
Yeah, evergreens come from all over the country, and really there's a lot of different applications for each of the different types. So I wanted to start with sort of our Wisconsin and Upper Michigan greens, the ones that we're most familiar with. And for outdoor installations, we use a lot of the Fraser fir. Comes in bundles like this, and Works out really nice for outdoor. It's inexpensive. There's a lot of coverage. It
And this
smells
is like what you
delicious.
see on a Christmas tree type of
Basically,
thing. A lot
yeah.
of people get this as their Christmas tree. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It has, Fraser fir is pretty because it has that little bit of a silver back
Yes.
needle to it, so it kind of catches the light nice.
And it smells amazing.
It does smell amazing. And it's reasonable really for, for the amount you get for the dollar. It's nice for those larger, kind of impact designs outdoor. Holds up really well, well into like February and March when it's still snowy.
Oh, great. So you don't have to feel bad about buying something and it only lasting a few weeks.
Right.
It really will take you through the whole season.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And then mixed with that, a lot of times we'll use the Norway pine or the red pine. It's this longer needle. It's a real coarse,
Yes.
kind of a nice different texture. So using the two in combination is really nice. Again, this really does well outdoor and holds its color really well, long into the season, which is kind of key to our Wisconsin
Yes.
winters.
I love the texture of this too, like you said. It is pretty hardy though. It looks a lot softer, but it holds up pretty well, it seems.
Right, and the sister to that would be the white pine, which is a softer needle.
Oh yeah.
And that, this is good both indoor or out. The thing with white pine is when the needles get wet, they kind of close up like this.
Okay.
And it's not really as pretty as the Norway pine, but it is a little softer. So if you're doing smaller pieces outdoor.
Maybe inside too.
More inside,
Yeah.
or even in a garland. Like I've cut just one piece of garland here. This garland here is white pine, and
This
it's
is
really
the white
pretty.
pine. Gorgeous.
And you can use this as the kind of a collar for your outdoor pots as well.
Okay.
We're going to talk in a minute about an outdoor installation.
Yes.
Really pretty,
Very
very
versatile.
fragrant.
Wow. Excellent.
But then from the West Coast, we get in a lot of really specialty evergreens and foliages, and they're better used. You can mix like as an accent with your outdoor evergreens, but really for indoor use, if you need something to hold up really well. We love things like magnolia, where it has that velvety back leaf to it.
Love that.
Yeah, this Carolina sapphire is really pretty too, kind of a bluish
Oh,
cast.
the color. Yes, very pretty.
Just a different texture.
And these are from the West Coast, you
Yeah,
said?
this
Okay.
is all West Coast material. The blueberry juniper is really pretty, gives you a little berry. The incense cedar is wonderful, and it if you lay this on a mantle or in a design, it actually just sort of dries in place and has a really great fragrance. And then the West Coast cedar, which is different than what you see here in Wisconsin.
is,
It's,
yes.
You think of the arborvitae or cedar here, and this is just so much more lush.
Yes. Wonderful. Wow, I can't even think of which one's my favorite. I'd like all of them to be in my home.
And you can mix them together. It's
And
not,
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, definitely. But start with a base of that, and then you can mix these elements in. Kind of like what we've done here. We've
Yeah.
taken this being an outdoor installation. We do a lot of these for homes and businesses. And the couple of secrets here, what we've done is we've used this kind of mossy cone as a focal point, and we've taken fresh curly willow, and in order for that to be stabilized, we've taken the curly willow and we've kind of caged that or sheltered it with that willow and come up over it, tied it off with some wire, and that keeps that nice and
Oh, yeah.
secure.
Uh-huh.
And then rather than putting the evergreens right in the ground, we simply dropped a fresh wreath over that material, so it just rests right on the edge of the pot. And the cool thing about this is after the holidays pass, you could pull your embellishments out, your ornaments and sparkly stems. You could pull this wreath off, and you could drop something more spring-like onto it,
Right.
and it really would be a very easy transition into the spring season before
Perfect.
planting time.
And you were telling me that these branches here last quite a while, so they're a great transition piece to last you through the seasons.
Yes, the curly willow is all locally harvested this time of year, so these actually in soil will start to develop leaves in the spring of the year, and it kind of leaves out, and it's really pretty,
Yes.
for that March and April period where it's too early to plant, but yet we need to have something in our
Oh yeah.
outdoor pots.
And I love the use of these too, just beautiful. Oh, and these ones kind of dried really nicely a little bit there.
Yeah, these have been in about 2 weeks now. We
Okay.
had a real early installation, so this has been in and out of vehicles and just shown a couple times.
So it really holds up pretty well.
But that brown back pedal is really pretty, kind of a velvety look to it.
Yes. You know, another great example of having the little ornaments and the sparkles to kind of make it more Christmassy, and you can change that up to make it whatever you want for any holiday coming up.
And you could pick your color story here too. I did a little red, but this could really be very, very neutral in color palette. You know, ivory and white and very wintry, snowy, or you can really punch it up with lots of color if you'd like.
Wonderful. Love the height as well. It's just a great piece all around. So we've got one other little piece that we want to take a look at for the holidays, and let's go ahead and take a look at that.
All right, sounds great.
All right, so we have one last piece that we want to highlight here that you might recognize from the Oshkosh Holiday Parade coverage, and that is these beautiful little pieces, these tablescapes that we have here. Jim, tell us about these.
Yes, actually, you know, every year we love to donate our services to making the table beautiful for the MCs for the parade, and with the wind we were a little concerned, but everything held together really well.
Everything stayed alive, yes.
So typically we've done a kind of a scape of different florals, and the way this is constructed to get the length is we actually make them in three pieces. So we'll make the 3 individual pieces and then we just slide them together. And the collection of materials is always a kind of a blend of the fresh evergreens and fresh roses, magnolia, and some of the different evergreens we spoke of earlier. And then with some artificial pieces like this flocked cedar, some of the ornaments.
And the flowering kale.
The flowering kale is gorgeous, yeah.
I love that.
We wanted, this year we did kind of a little more colorful, you know, every year has been a little different, but we loved the introduction of the purples and pinks and the reds and greens. It was just such a colorful mix, and it just felt like such an extension of all the different floats and parade entries.
Especially with the theme with the surf, sand, and Santa. There was a lot of colors, so
yeah.
It worked out perfectly. And you know, I love the illusion that it's one long piece, and it looked great on the edge of our table. Also might be a beautiful centerpiece for a long dining table.
Definitely. Depending on the length of your table, we could do these in 3 pieces, and there could be some space in between. It really wouldn't matter. If you had a 14-foot table, you could pull this apart and do candlesticks or something like that in the center of it, but really it could be pulled together 2 pieces, even as an individual item, it would be really beautiful.
Just wonderful. So we had to get back here and give a little highlight to that.
Yeah.
We are very appreciative of all the help that you give us for the holiday parade. We always have a beautiful Oshkosh Today set from you guys, so thank you very much for that wonderful partnership, Jim.
No worries. Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Yes, and thanks again for having us out here for some holiday decor. We're going to have to get back out here next season and get some more tips from you guys.
Sounds great.
Oshkosh Today, your connection to events and organizations in the Oshkosh area. Oshkosh Today is supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive, and House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard.